Firstly, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. This is a brief webinar as part of National Apprenticeship Week. And this week, the nation has seen lots of organizations and businesses like ours celebrating apprenticeships and doing what we can to expand awareness of it and to share some of the good work that we're doing. So we thought we'd take this opportunity to share a brand new program that we've launched in partnership with Miller Electric. This is going to be our business intelligence apprenticeship program, which is brand new for 2023, and we're taking people onto the program now. But before we get into that and tell you more about it, let's just introduce ourselves. There are a few of us here, so I'm going to pass it over to Patty and Kerri to introduce themselves first of all.
Thanks, Nick. So my name is Patty Keenan, and I am Chief Talent Officer at Miller Electric Company in Jacksonville, Florida.
Thank you.
Kerri?
Thank you, Patty. Hi, I am Kerri Stewart. I am the Chief Strategy Officer for Miller Electric Company here in Jacksonville, Florida, one of our 17 offices that we have around the United States.
Brilliant. And my good colleague, Charles.
Hello, everybody. Charlie Cornish, co-founder of Apprenticeship.work. We're an apprenticeship intermediary helping companies build and start their own programs and run it for them. We've been working with Miller for the past few years, and we're really excited to be speaking about this new program today.
Fantastic. My name's Nick. I'm the other founder of Apprenticeship.work with Charlie. I'm going to have the joyful task of leading this call today as we take those of you who have joined us and those of you who are watching the recording through some of the exciting developments and aspects of this new program that we're putting together. So firstly, I just wanted to kind of touch base on, this is about apprenticeships. And obviously it's what our business is about. So, but we have these wonderful people from Miller Electric here. Would you mind telling us, just from your personal experience, what makes you passionate and excited about apprenticeships?
Certainly. So as Kerri and I mentioned, we're from Miller Electric Company, which is a 94-year-old family and ESOP-owned electrical contracting and technology company. And we are also proud union contractors. So we've had apprenticeships for years in our business in the trades. So it was after meeting Nick and Charlie that I learned that that in the US, we have been expanding apprenticeships beyond the trades for some time. And I was very intrigued by that concept because I think it's great for the next generation to keep upgrading their skills and to be doing the kinds of things that companies need them to do without necessarily taking a traditional route of college right after high school.
Fantastic, fantastic. And certainly for us, I know, Charlie, you and I share the same vision. How do you feel about, how would you distill our passion for apprenticeships?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Patty made a great point a second ago. Apprenticeships are typically are thought of as the trades. And what we're working on are tech apprenticeships, so a more modern approach to it. And a lot of time when we talk about apprenticeships with people, it evokes things like blacksmiths or shoe cobblers or the traditional trades. And so what we've done is we've looked at workforce development in a new way by taking an old way of working, modernize it into tech and new skills. And as you said, college is a great way to go for a lot of people. It doesn't provide job experience and doesn't always provide the exact skills for what you need for a career. And so apprenticeships combine the best of both worlds. It's a way to learn on the job, get paid while you're working, and also learn a new trade or skill in IT. And that's what we've been doing. And we discovered this mode of working about 5-6 years ago and absolutely fell in love with it for that exact reason, and are just very proud to be able to bring this to companies and help them use that as another pipeline tool for developing great talent, and most importantly, giving people an option outside of school, or if they want to change careers, to start a new career as opposed to going back to school.
That's great. Yeah, we do. We just love the impact that apprenticeships can have on a variety of things. So as you mentioned there, Charlie, this is a tech apprenticeship. Yep. So as you and Patty have both said, this is different from the trades, and it's still the on-the-job approach. And these new collar roles that we have in, software development, cybersecurity, data analytics, there's an ever-growing list of apprenticeship occupations, or other ever-growing list of occupations that are becoming apprenticeships in the modern world. So Patty, what's your experience? Because I know we did a tech apprenticeship with you recently. You've obviously had a lot of experience, as you mentioned, with the trades through your IBEW programs, but you've now also got experience of tech apprenticeships. So how have you felt they've sort of gone for you?
So what we decided to do after a lot of conversation with Nick and Charlie is we decided to pilot the program with just 2 apprentices within that already work for our company, and they were both people fairly new in their careers. And so we had one cybersecurity apprentice and we had an application development apprentice. And Nick and Charlie and Apprentices.work put together a year-long program that was just step by step, sort of how to become a cybersecurity analyst, I think it is, and how to become an application development engineer. So, or what's the application development specialist?
One of them.
Yes.
An application developer.
What really amazed me, the program was very, very structured, and they provided a lot of support. So each of our apprentices got a coach. So they were able to work very within the program that Nick and Charlie created. And the I forget what it's called, Plateau, the system they worked in. Canvas. So, yeah. Which was a spectacular program. I think the coaching support was critical. The partnership that we had with the managers for both of these apprentices with Nick and Charlie was just top notch. And both Cameron and Daniel succeeded exceptionally well and felt great amounts of support throughout the whole year. So, and they both graduated, just last month, which was fabulous.
They did. It was really nice. I know we were talking about the impact earlier on, but seeing their faces and the support and pride of the team around them as they have really matured into, young professionals and unleashed some of their potential.
And that was one of my favorite parts, was watching their personal and professional growth. They walk taller. They just come across as more mature in their business life, which is fantastic.
I mean, these tech apprenticeships can have really great impact, not just on, some of the things we've talked about. Charlie, some of our other experiences have really helped drive some great outcomes for the apprenticeships. What have you found in other projects that we've also impacted?
Yeah, absolutely. I think just like Patty was describing with Daniel and Cameron, the 2 apprentices at Miller, when you invest in people invest back in you. And so what we were saying, we could see that in their faces, the way they were doing their jobs, completely transformed. And apprentices typically stay with companies long-term, usually 3 years, much, much longer. But the great thing about apprentices is they're not looking at this as just a job. They're looking at this as a career change. And so to have the support from Miller on that, it's fantastic to see. But it's you get really great retention. You get people who work really hard, who really care, and you get people who are trained in the latest skills. And to go back to prepping for college and what college prepares for in roles, skills move very quickly. They're not always the skills that companies need. And so skills for cyber or IT, Miller needed something different than company X over here. So we're able to train those skills specifically to those people's careers within the organization.
Great. And there are lots of organizations as well who are able to use apprenticeships to hire on potential instead of the credentials that people have. And that enables you to really dive into supporting diversity initiatives that many organizations have too. So it's a really powerful tool, not just for starting and launching careers, but also addressing some of these really great goals that organizations have.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit. Oh, sorry, carry on.
Well, yeah, just to quickly add that, a stat that always jumps out is for organizations who want to hire for tech roles. If you have a college degree requirement, you immediately exclude 75% of people from historically underrepresented backgrounds. And so a lot of companies want to make that change, but they don't always have a system in place. And so apprenticeships are a great on-ramp to replace that very quickly and basically walk the talk for those DEI initiatives.
Yeah, there's a lot of great talent out there. Not every organization insists on a college degree anymore, but it's still quite common in requirements. And it's interesting to observe that something like 40% of people who start college in the US don't complete. So there's lots of people out there with some college, and these are the kind of programs that can help, mature that into real career opportunities for them to get going and work hard and drive results for themselves. What's this program about? So we're going to talk just a little bit about this business intelligence program that we're very proud of. And I think we talked about it a little while ago, and we thought, you know, everybody needs data skills. Data skills is what's growing massively in the world. But Patty and her team quite insightfully said, but it's actually more about what happens in the business and how we can take those kind of skills and make them useful in different departments. So, you know, everybody is exposed to ever more data in every division of the business, whether you're in HR, whether you're in sales or marketing, operations, or even IT. And so we need to turn this data into useful intelligence. So we thought we'd, you know, build this opportunity and build this program where lots of different business departments can take their data and turn it into fantastic visualizations or do analyses to help make sense of it and to support stakeholders and, you know, the business team in those departments. And it was a really nice opportunity to take some of the great apprenticeable skills in these sort of modern skills around, you know, learning how to be a you know, master of Excel, or learning how to use Tableau, using some of the basics of data analytics around Python or some of those wonderful tools like SQL that, you know, for many of us seems like that's like Greek or rocket science, but actually it's the kind of thing that people are using more and more every day to try and very quickly make sense of the data that's in front of them. So
I'm glad to know you didn't make up any of those words, Nick.
I know, right? I know. It's funny. You wait until you see all the different plugins that go into some of them. It's
I know what that is.
I'm sure there's a group of people. There are people who sit there and make up these names. So yeah, we're very excited about this, and we're looking forward to. We have a program starting in January with Miller Electric. And so we're going to be taking people from lots of different departments and giving them the opportunity to learn these skills and bring this great value to the business. So I thought I'd let you know, Patty and Kerri talk a little bit about their vision for this here and how they feel about this, because ultimately you guys have been part of crafting this and making it happen.
Kerri, please take this.
Yes. So when I was hired at Miller a couple of years ago, one of my initial roles was to build some data analytics competencies within Miller. We sit on 94 years worth of data, as Patty talked about. I don't think we have all of the data from all 94 years, but we do have a lot of data. And the more technologically advanced we get, and the more digitally we move our processes, we have a good problem of having lots and lots of very rich data. But we had no way of really accessing it, understanding it, and turning that data into useful insights. I think that's what you hit on, Nick. And for us, the data analytics department right now is me. And I can use about 3 of the tools proficiently that you have up on the screen here, Nick. So we use consultants a lot to come in and help us integrate our data, make the data useful, provide us with good visualization tools. But what we knew and we've known all along is that growing our own competencies across the business will allow us to really gain insight in a way that we are not developing use cases for a consultant to come in who doesn't know our business to give us answers that may or may not be as well formed as if they were being done by the people actually doing the work.
Yeah.
And so we knew we wanted to democratize this ability to take the data that was within the departments and ask the questions of the data that were important to the people working in those roles. What I also like about this path that we've chosen to go down with you all is that the soft skills that come around it. You talked about Daniel and Cam earlier. Watching these 2 young men who literally sit in a locked room working on IT projects all day long.
They lock the door. We don't lock them in, by the way.
That's right. They lock their own door. They don't want people just parading in and asking for help with Word. But watching them grow in terms of their ability to interact professionally with executive team, with project management teams, and to feel comfortable and to feel like they are on equal footing. their writing skills, their communication skills, just watching them blossom over the year. We know we can do that in the same way with our young professionals throughout our company in this new program for business intelligence. So very excited about it, very excited to have helped build the curriculum that is going to be not just Miller specific, but it's going to be generic enough that other companies can pick this up and use it in the same way that we can and apply it to their own businesses. It's a skill set that also our employees, it will make them more marketable, hopefully not so that they will leave, but so that they will continue to grow and appreciate the opportunities that Miller affords them to grow professionally here at Miller.
I think given it's National Apprenticeship Week, I'm going to share a stat that's come up in probably most presentations this week, but over 96% of apprentices retain. So that's a phenomenal stat. And so we're very excited about this. And I think you mentioned the professional skills. And Patty, you mentioned the coaching earlier on. We're very proud of our coaches. We assign every apprentice an individual coach who's a partner in their journey along the apprenticeship, to help keep them focused, to help contextualize what they're learning, and to help build their confidence around the competencies that they're learning, so that they have the confidence to actually practice things on the job technically and their professional skills. And we found that to really be important to drive impact. So we're very proud of that. And seeing the young apprentices you cited there thank their coaches at the end of the program, there was not a dry eye in the house. So it was a beautiful moment. I think it's also worth mentioning, as you said, Kerri, that this program, what makes this program special is we're starting obviously with the folks you have at Miller identified for this, but we're also planning to make this open to any employer in Jacksonville, and in Florida, and nationwide. So we're working with the folks at the Department of Education and the US Department of Labor to make this an open program so that multiple employers can join this. So any employers that are interested in joining this, the lucky thing for you is we've done all the setup work. We've worked with Miller to set all of this up. And for other employers coming to join it, they simply need to come along, have an open head count that they want to put an apprentice through, and simply say, hey, I'd like to get involved, and we can do that in a pretty turnkey way. So we're very excited to make this available. But I know when we were talking about this, making this open to other employers was something that, Patty, I know you were quite passionate about, and you too, Kerri. What drove your desire to make this open?
So, as I mentioned, Miller's a 94-year-old business, and we pride ourselves on building trusting relationships externally and internally. And something we've always done, and that has worked for us over many years, is we share ideas with other companies, including our customers, our vendor partners, and they do the same with us. So we feel like this is a new idea. It's an innovation that can help our customers and our vendor partners. So why wouldn't we want to share it with them? It's good for humans. We say that a lot at Miller. It's good for humans. Yeah. It's good for our kids. This is, as I said, a family business. We have a lot of families who choose to work at Miller and bring the next generation here. But we care about other people's kids as well. So it's very aligned with our core values. Stewardship is one of our top 6 core values, and that we look at that as taking care of the company we are entrusted with right now for the next generation. So this is something we can do to build relationships internally and externally, and it's good for humans.
Excellent. Well, we're very glad to be partners with you in making it happen. We operate a couple of other open programs nationwide, and they're all successful and it's always a pleasant surprise for employers coming along saying, I've wanted to do an apprenticeship, but it sounded a bit complicated. And it just helps make it much easier and more turnkey to get involved when we're able to bring our expertise and experience, but also having had it already set up. So that's a real bonus. I also think, and certainly something that Charlie and I have found, that Florida and particularly Jacksonville are very committed to expanding apprenticeships. And they've done some brilliant work in investing in their local infrastructure to support this. So we're delighted to see that, and to hopefully make this a part of the success that you guys have in expanding apprenticeships. And certainly that feeling is echoed at the national level with the US DOL folks that we operate with as well, who equally see this as a fantastic opportunity to expand apprenticeships. So moving on then, there's an interesting experience being an apprentice, and I know we have we've got a number of apprentices going through our programs at the moment. For those apprentices who are watching this recording at a later date, Charlie, how would you describe the apprenticeship experience to an apprentice?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think to echo what I said earlier, it's not just a job; it's a new career on ramp. It's a new career pathway for you. So it's full time. You get paid to do it. So at the very beginning, you're going to start. You're going to be working every day, and you're going to be learning on the job. So approximately 20% of your work week, maybe about one day, is going to be spent learning the hard technical skills of whatever the position is. In this case, for business intelligence, all those data skills we just showed on the screen. You learn the business professional skills, so everything from writing emails to taking meetings and all those soft professional skills that really make you a well-rounded business person that, frankly, not everyone gets. And I know we always joke about this. We certainly didn't get. We had to learn it on as we went. So it's a great way to get that personal development. And as Patty and Nick said, there's a personal coach. So you get a one-to-one coach every single week. And this person's there to help you get through the program, contextualize your learning, and really have an extra resource of someone who's outside the company who can help you with the program. And these people typically have 10, 15 years of experience in the respective field. And it's just a fantastic resource to get through. And then in addition to that, like I said, you're learning the technical skills. You're learning to code Python. You can start off with no skills, and at the end, you're writing programs that are making a difference, and you can implement and come up with projects. And it's a great way to get your hands dirty, but also practically apply to the job. And as you get through that year, you end with a nationally certified apprenticeship certification. Two certifications there. I appreciate how I said that. A national certification from the Department of Labor, as well as an industry certification. So this is completely portable. And something you can put in your resume, and really carries as much weight as going to college or going back to study these disciplines.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah. I loved the diploma I mean, it does. It's an official apprenticeship, and that means a lot to people. And by the way, I did want to say, we're not against college. We love college. Yeah. In fact, many of them have some college, and we also have tuition reimbursement at Miller. So people go back to college all the time. It's just a different way of looking at it.
Absolutely.
And I think the key aspect is a practical element where the apprentices get to work on practical projects to apply their skills. And in the cases of the apprentices we had with you, they were actually doing quite valuable things for their teams.
Yes. And continue to. They're doing great still.
Reviewing cybersecurity policy and continue to. There you go. So it's great that.
Mm-hmm.
And that certainly makes the apprenticeship drive real ROI for the employer. If you think about it, you're investing in talent and you're getting the benefits pretty quickly. Fantastic. So who can be an apprentice? That's the next question I've got. And I know we've got some examples to share with you, but Charlie, who have we found that can be an apprentice?
Literally anybody. Someone who wants to change careers. If you've always wanted to get into business intelligence, if you've always wanted to get into data analytics, now's your chance. So you can, instead of going to school, maybe after, or taking a class afterwards, or taking a boot camp, you can look at programs like Miller and get real world experience and reskill. And so we're finding people who are coming straight out of college, people who've had 5 years of experience, people with 20 years of experience going through these programs, pivoting careers, and able to have the option to do that, which 5-10 years ago, this really didn't exist, and why we love it so much.
That's great. That's great.
I would love to add there from a personal standpoint. I feel like I hear from parents a lot who are sort of like bemoaning that their kids play a lot of video games. Well, my son played a lot of video games, and now he has a great job with a tech company, and he uses quite a lot of his skills that he learned playing video games. So, it's different now than it was when we were growing up. So that, they can,
absolutely.
It's literally anyone.
That's fantastic. That's really good. Yeah, I mean, as Charlie said, we've seen career switchers with 20 years experience update their skills and set themselves up for the rest of their career, which is a really powerful opportunity because, you know, real life tends to get in the way of going back to college in the middle of your career meaningfully. And so to be able to do that kind of thing on the job and to leverage this really great apprenticeship on the job learning approach unlocks lots of potential. So I'm curious, we've got a fantastic program. We believe this is going to be a huge success, but Kerri, tell me more about what you think your future aspirations are for this. What would you, if you could click those heels together and we're a few years ahead, what would be happening? Where are we?
Well, I think we would continue to evolve the apprenticeships for our business needs. That's what I love about this, is that it's generic enough that I think it could fit in any environment, any corporate environment or not-for-profit or government organization. I don't think it's limited to what it can do. But in the future, I see us continuing to work with you all to tweak these apprenticeships for our personal business here at Miller Electric, and giving back, pouring back into our employee base. I don't know that we're doing it the traditional way where we hire someone and put them directly into an apprenticeship. What we're looking at is employee reskilling, upskilling for our own purposes. So pouring into our employees what they need to provide for Miller to continue to grow, right? So as we grow as a company, as things change in corporate America, we want to bring our employees along with them. So it's cybersecurity and software application development this past year. This coming year, it's going to be business intelligence, data analytics. We're so excited about what it's done for Miller already. We see it continuing to do these types of apprenticeships with our workforce for years to come. What I also love about this is we've already seen interest from our partners that are in workforce development and talent development at our chambers of commerce in the cities that we work in, as well as the Florida Chamber of Commerce, which Patty sits on one of their workforce development boards. We are excited about bringing an alternative to our community of customers and vendor partners so that we all grow together. We're all in a race for the best talent, always. But this is growing our own. And as we grow, as Miller grows, as our companies, our customers grow, our vendor partners grow, we want to bring them all along. They will continue to be great customers. They will continue to be great vendor partners. And we hope to be the same for them. And I think this is just another thing that we share with our longtime partners and customers that makes us all better together. It makes our communities better. It makes our states better. I just see this being something really big in terms of options for employers and employees alike. It's another tool in the toolbox that has been underutilized, I think, so far. But I do see it taking off as an option rather than college or some sort of certification where they don't get the rounded soft skills that really need to accompany it with it, that sometimes a degree or a certification doesn't come with.
That's great.
That's great.
We appreciate your ethos so much in the sense of a rising tide lifts all ships. And I think what you're focusing on here in terms of the skills that you've created for this program apply to so many companies, and you're truly a leader in that. Like you said, you've been sitting on data for 94 years. Data is now the skills of the 21st century. And people can say that, but what does that mean? You've really put some structure behind that and are enabling people in these departments to really capture that. And the fact that you're spreading this across the community, it's so great to see.
Brilliant. So I would like to ask you the question, Charlie. I'm an interested employer. How do I get involved?
Absolutely, Nick. Well, you can obviously just reach out to us. To get involved in this program, you can reach out to either Kerri at, do we have our emails up? Great, perfect. Any of the emails on the screen. So myself, Kerri, or Patty on this program. As we said, for the Business Intelligence Program, Miller sponsoring it, they're running it, and we are excited to have other employers on here. So it's completely inclusive in that sense. So please email us, and we will be happy to set some time to speak with you.
Fantastic. And what about if I'm an apprentice and I'm interested?
Yes, absolutely. So please send your contact information as well. As we said, this program is for anybody. So we're going to have a pool of companies that we're going to be working with, and we'd love to speak with you, look at what your ambitions are, and see where we can find a position where available.
Great. Yeah, we have programs starting all the time. So, we tend to stay in touch with people who are looking for roles. And if we can match an employer to your ambitions to join an apprenticeship program, it would be our honor and delight to do so. So get in touch and we'll do what we can to help.
Absolutely. We receive inquiries for this program as well.
Brilliant. Brilliant. I'll pop these email addresses up at the end, but I'm a bigger fan of everybody's beautiful faces, so I'm going to bring those back. Got a couple of questions that we've been sent. So I'm an employer. Does it cost me to get involved? Great. Yeah. So basically, you're paying the salary, you pay the fee for the apprenticeship delivery, and also we are eligible for state and federal grant funding. So we'll check your eligibility when we connect with you on that.
Absolutely. For Florida employers especially, please reach out to us and we can work to find and attach grants that are potentially available.
Brilliant. And so I'm an apprentice. Does it cost me if I'm an apprentice?
It absolutely does not, which is how we design these programs. So we do not want to pass on any of that cost. We don't want anyone to incur debt. This is all part of the solution that we're building, where you get paid on the job experience and the certification. So all sponsored by the employer. They're investing in you in order for you to learn your new skills and continue on your career and build that pathway.
Fantastic. Okay. And there's a couple of grants which we've mentioned. And I know in Florida you mentioned there's certainly some those at city and state level. So if we can get if you are interested, get in touch with us and we'll pick that up with you. There are opportunities to reimburse the costs of training, and there are certainly grants available to develop these programs for your organization if this is something new to you. So moving on to the next one, Patty, what would you say is your favorite thing or the best thing about the tech apprenticeship that you ran with us?
So I don't think I can pick just one best thing, but I'll pick two. That it was so customized and targeted for what our business needs were. And that's the first thing. And the second thing is that it was so good for the people the apprentices who chose to be part of this program. There's work required on their part. It has to be somebody who's willing and able to learn and have a growth mindset. So we picked them very carefully, and we did this time around as well. It's not easy, but it's so worthwhile. So those are my two favorite things.
Excellent. And just as a last question that I'd written down, you mentioned, Kerri, you've been spending time with other business leaders in various chambers of commerce meetings. Do you see an appetite for this kind of program across the industry?
I do. And I think one of the things that I mentioned to you when we were talking about this is I attended an event called Data Science for Social Good. And what it was the consultant that does data analytics for Miller Electric mentors and pulls other data scientists from companies around our community, like the Jacksonville Jaguars, like Black Knight Financial Systems, like Florida Blue, which is a large insurer here in Florida. And these folks volunteer their time to work with nonprofits in our community to solve data problems for these not-for-profits. And it was really amazing to see that these employers not only allow, but they encourage their data scientists they already have within their companies to do things for social good. So I've run into multiple colleagues around the Northeast Florida, especially, that are very interested in this type of skill set. I know that I sit on the board for the Davis College of Business at Jacksonville University, and they have created a certificate program specifically around business analytics. It's a very hot topic right now. Employers are asking for it. Colleges are creating curriculums, certificate paths for this type of skill set. So I think it's very top of mind for employers across the country. But I can tell you personally, from a social and a professional networking, it is really, I hear it everywhere I go, just how very important it is to have these types of employees at your disposal.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I was just looking at the data literally this morning, and this role and these skill sets are among the fastest growing job requirements in the US. So there's really an opportunity for businesses to take advantage of the data that's all around them and turn that sea of data into usable intelligence and insight. So I think, unless you've got any more questions, I think we have addressed the information that we plan to address today and got through our agenda. Is there anything else that you guys would like to add before we wrap up?
I would just like to add that Nick and Charlie are just a joy to work with. They continually exceed our expectations. I mean, the program is even better than I thought it would be when we first started talking. So, and I'm not just saying that because I like them. So thank you guys. Really, really great work.
Thank you. It's been a delight.
The only thing that I would add too, Nick, is before we get off, we need to address the elephant in the terrarium.
Yeah, this is true. We are all in the same room. And also, that's a fancy word for a greenhouse. I'm just a simple English boy, and I see this is like my grandma's greenhouse. Actually, it's not. It's way, way bigger than her greenhouse. But hey,
I like it. It's very soothing.
Listen, I thought it would bring a bright and sunny Friday. Exactly. Well, happy Friday, everybody. And thank you very much for your contributions, Charlie, Kerri, Patty. And we look forward to meeting those of you who get in touch with us very soon. Have a fantastic week and weekend.
Wonderful.
Bye
Thank
all.
you all. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.